And of course, he hands me the mic. Does that surprise anybody that he just handed me the mic? I guess I'm welcoming everybody.
Yeah. A little
closer. Okay. We're here. Guess what? 0 days till our wedding. Woo! Stephen and I just want to thank you all so very, very much from the bottom of our hearts for sharing this beautiful day with us and for showering your love and prayers on all of us as we've grown up and finally found each other, and now we're here, and welcome, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I love you all. Thank you so much for coming, and I'm a little overwhelmed, so I'm going to hand the mic to someone else. Love you.
We just want to thank everyone who's traveled near and far. It's a really special day to celebrate with everyone. We love you all, and we can't wait to get the party started.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and I am so honored to be up here with Steve and Deanna today. And my husband told me to be funny, but that's going to be Kevin's job. So the question that I have been asked over and over today, and not just today, but in life, is, are we sisters? And the short answer is no. We are, however, sisters in our hearts. When Deanna first came to St. Charles, she had a job teaching. She was a teacher of the deaf. And she was stationed at her homeschool at the same building where my mom was teaching, and I was teaching in another building. So my mom says, you have to meet this teacher, deaf teacher. And I was like, okay. She keeps saying over and over, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't sign, a deaf teacher, no, we don't have anything in common. Meanwhile, she's saying to Deanna, you have to meet my daughter. You guys would really hit it off. Never happens. So time passes, and as it would happen, we actually end up meeting completely by coincidence on Valentine's Day. And so it was really later that we figured out that we had these connections in common. And we really believe that these things happen for a reason. So over the years, our friendship developed. And 8 years ago, Deanna stood with me when I married my husband. And my children have been honored to call her aunt. They're very, very excited that as of today, they have an extra uncle. He's been Mr. Steve up until now, and they're very excited that today he is Uncle Steve. Deanna has waited a really long time to find Steve. And while you guys would have both been so thrilled to have met earlier, you wouldn't have been the same people that you are today. So even though we wish that you had had this happiness so much earlier, we are believing that these things happen with this timing for a reason. Today is a very special day. It's your wedding day, and it's a day you're going to remember for your whole life. And while I wish that every day is as perfect as today has been, at the end of the day, we're going to clean up and we're going to go home with our photos and our memories. What is more important than your wedding is that today is the first day of your marriage. And your marriage is going to have many wonderful days. It's going to have ups and downs and joys and sorrows. And there are going to be so many days when it is easy to love each other. And there will be a few days when you choose to love each other. We were invited here today to celebrate Steve and Deanna's wedding, but I would like to entrust you with something far greater. We were invited here as their support system. So as they embark on this great journey, we are going to be here to celebrate with you on the good days and to walk with you on the hard days. Things happen for a reason. We don't know what they are, but we do believe that God does, and we trust that. There's no one perfect here on earth. It makes it very hard to find the perfect person for you. However, you have both been very blessed by finding the perfect person for you. Deanna, you waited a really long time to find Steve. Steve, you were worth the wait. Please raise your glasses for a toast. My prayer for you is that there are more happy days in your marriage, more easy days than hard ones, and that no matter what happens, you remember that God is the reason behind everything. Congratulations.
Thank you, DJ Drew. Before I start, I just want to thank a couple of very important people. This is from the entire wedding party, as well as Steve and Deanna. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Ron and Linda for throwing this incredible party. As someone that was living with my parents when they were planning my sister Laura's wedding, I know how frustrating it can be. There's a lot of arguments, there's a lot of drama, and I can actually remember a specific argument about what color of off-white the wedding napkins were gonna be. And so I was like, there's only one off-white. Well, no. There's eggshell, ivory, baby powder, corn silk, parchment, alabaster, champagne, snow, vanilla, milk, cream. It stops sounding like colors and more like things you'd put in a protein shake. But I guess the details are the details, and that's what you have to take the time to plan it. I'd also like to thank my Aunt Betsy and Uncle Danny for throwing the amazing reception last night. That was the best steak I've had since Susie's wedding. You guys need to keep planning weddings. I will come and eat. It'll be fantastic. Well, maybe you can plan my wedding. Finally, I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming. I know a lot of people traveled from a lot of different places. We have some from Kansas, Texas, South Carolina, even the state of Washington. And it just goes to show you how far people are willing to travel for a free meal and an open bar. Steve, you look okay. Deanna, you look gorgeous. You're radiant. You're amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me. Steve couldn't shave. So I've had the privilege of knowing Steve since I was born. And Steve was always so really positive. So when I was researching this speech, everything I saw was like, trash the groom. You got to make fun of him like this. But it's really unfortunate. You can't do that to Steve. It's kind of like kicking a puppy. Which I just don't want to do. But one of the things I really love about Steve is his love for dad jokes. Like, you'll be standing around and he'll just come up to you and say, look at this thing on my phone. So Steve, I got a dad joke for you today. You guys have to laugh. It's been a very emotional day. Even the wedding cake is in tears. Okay, I told that joke to my pet turtle and he laughed a lot. So you guys should be laughing more. But no, really, Steve was always so positive and he was happy, and it really was hard to get him down. And so I remember actually for his 12th birthday, I was like 6, and one of his big presents was this massive glider that he really wanted to try out. So the 4 of us went outside, Steve, Susie, my sister Laura, and I, and before Steve could get a chance to throw it, I looked at Steve and I was like, hey, can I throw it? And Steve, of course, is like, well, yeah, sure, because that's who he is. Like, it's his present, but whatever. So I throw it in the air, and it immediately crash lands in the neighbor's yard. Their dog comes flying out of the garage, starts tearing it to pieces. I'm like sobbing, I'm in tears. Laura is speechless. Susie is laughing hysterically for some reason. But Steve is just like he's fine. And so I go up to Steve and I'm like, Steve, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll buy you a new one. And he's just like, Gavin, it's okay. These things happen. So I know it's been 20 years. But I finally got your letter. So, oh my gosh. So, like I said, Steve's been very positive, and he's overwhelmingly happy over all of these years. And you know, the thing I love about Steve and Deanna together is that you know, they're very content, they're happy together, and it makes me really envious of their relationship. And like, if you really think about it, you know, they care so much for each other, but their relationship is pretty much like every Catholic grade school kid's dream. They're both very devout Catholics. They met at Theology on Tap. They serve together all the time. Steve actually grew a beard so he could star in the live nativity scene for Deanna. And as someone who has had to take care of a beard for a long time, it's very itchy, it's frustrating, and people, grandma, really yell at you when you have a beard. So, Steve, I'd like to expedite that process, and I actually got you a fake beard for next year. And it's perfect because Joseph is like 2,500 years old, so it's white. and it'll fit perfectly on your face. Plus, grandma won't laugh or yell at you. But really, let's get down to it. What's the reason we're here today? We're here to celebrate an incredible marriage between two people. And marriage is about the connection you make with the person across from you. I know this because I had some amazing parents, and the key to their marriage was sacrificing and compromise. And that's really special, because compromising is not what you want. It's what you work through together. And so I was thinking about your wedding present. I was like, I gotta do something big, you know? So this is your first compromise. And I was like, man, like, what can I get them? What is gonna be fantastic? So I know, Steve, you've wanted a dog for like 10 years. So there's actually, I met Tom, the bartender. There's a package, it's to the left. Yeah, no, I think it's been barking for like the past hour. It's got some air holes in the top. No, really, it's back. I'm not kidding. Okay, so it's not actually a real dog, but it's a Build-A-Bear. There you go. It's a corgi, and his name is Caddy, after the Catechism. So congratulations, that's your first compromise. So I would like to end this with something my dad said to my mom all the time, which really, it's really amazing. So if everybody could raise a glass. Marriage is not a noun. Marriage is a verb. Marriage is not something you get, it's something you actively do. Marriage is the decision to love your spouse every single day. Thank you very much. Cheers to the happy couple.